browser. Me.
You're welcome. Your life?
Apparently.
Actually,
Apparently.
I just burped.
So did I. But we're not supposed to be live.
That's weird. Actually, though?
Yeah, it just went live for us.
Oh, great.
That's not what's supposed to happen.
That's all right.
That's
We're
okay.
doing live.
Fuck it, do it live.
Yeah.
Uh,
Figure it out, Anthony. Come on, let's go. This is the pinnacle of our podcast. It's the Idiots podcast.
YOLO.
We good? Our faces are showing? Oh, not yet. Oh, you haven't clicked that button
Yeah,
yet.
now we're showing.
Oh, all right.
Just for you,
Well,
homie.
thanks for the warning, man.
No problem. Well, welcome back, everyone. This is Idiots POV, where we talk about relationships, family, faith, fitness, and discipline. Uh, Today we're talking about. Well, actually, we're gonna ask you a question. See how you guys feel. Is family really that important? And we're gonna go deeper into the contrast between being a father or husband. Various, I don't know, what would you say? The various nuances or the fears?
Yeah. I'm excited to kind of talk about this because I think from a man's perspective, it kind of casts a view of what sort of our view of what family looks like going into like a marriage or going into like fatherhood. So I'm excited to talk about this with you.
Well, if you're that excited, then start.
Sure. Yeah. Do you want me to start with a question then?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So I want to start by asking you the question of um, does does being a father scare you, or does being a husband scare you?
Uh,
I guess
I
more.
think, yeah, both
Yeah.
scare me. I think being a husband would scare me more because no matter what you do, children will just entertain your children and you treat them with respect and whatnot. Kind of works out itself, at least for fathers.
Yeah.
I don't know about mothers, but being a husband, like you're tied to that person through your children or through marriage, stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So for me, I would be afraid of failing in general, but failing my wife. It's
Right.
like like say you fail being a father, you're still failing your wife being a father. Like, I mean,
Right. Right.
I think
Don't you feel like in that relationship though, as compared to a father-child relationship, like there's room for, um, I guess, forgiveness. Whereas in father-child, like if you sort of make a wrong move, like that kind of affects the person in a bigger scale than you would on a marriage.
not really. Like
No.
my dad's made mistakes and will love him to death.
Right.
I think as long as you try your best, you're gonna be a good father. Like all you have to do is put in a little bit of effort. Um, but for being a husband, takes a lot more effort in various areas. Putting an effort, father, it's being a father.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think my answer is completely different than yours. I definitely think being a father is more um like it scares me more. Not so much because I'm worried about lack of sleep or always being tired from, kids, but just more in the sense of like how will I raise my children to be followers of Christ? Like how will I like raise them so that they become like respectful person and not an asshole? Um
Not a straight up asshole.
yeah, like I
I
often
get
think
it.
about yeah, I also think about whether I like personally I have enough experience in life to support a child. Whereas in like a marriage, like I see that as a natural progression from dating. So it's I get a little bit more like progressive step going into a marriage. So being a husband definitely seems um less stressful than it would be like raising raising a kid. Yeah. And I also like I see a lot of people that are close to me that I'm sure like you and I work at the same firm, so we have a lot of coworkers and a lot of people stuck at jobs and stuck at like in a certain routine, stuck in a certain situation because
Mm.
of kids.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. So like I want to make sure that I'm at a certain point in financially, like I'm at a certain point in my career, like so that when I start like having a kid, at least if I'm like stuck somewhere, like I'm happy where I am instead of just like, oh, like I have to drag my feet to work or something.
Yeah, that's fair. So like I like what you said about like people at our firm being stuck or
Mhm.
because they have kids. So that kind of leads me to think what is the man's role or the husband's role
Right.
in the family?
Mm.
So, like what would you consider?
Um, so there's a book called Future Men by Douglas Wilson, and he talks about I guess men's role in the family in like different facets. And one of the I guess the three that I can think of right now is um like men are created to exercise dominion in the earth. So they need to be like capable of having that dominion in the family and everything that you were responsible for. Same way that God had created us to have dominion over the things that He created as well as us. And the second thing is that I think as a man in a family, you are called to settle down. And I know that's a term that a lot of guys sort of like deter away from, but like like in the book, it talks about how God created Adam and he said, you need to keep and tend the garden. So, meaning that the purpose of our creation was to settle within the Garden of Eden, to take care of the Garden of Eden, not go explore and be adventurous. So, um, sort of settle down into a family and making sure that that's priority one. So, that's second aspect of being a man. And then the last thing is kind of, I guess, yeah, the last thing is kind of um I guess common knowledge, not like just outside of Bible, is like just wisdom. So achieving wisdom, so that everything you do comes out of wisdom, not wit, not intellectual, but just being wise, which is I think hard.
Well,
Um,
I think you gain wisdom through experience, right?
yeah, right. Hopefully.
But like for you, I kind of agree with you. The role of man, family,
Hmm.
but have you ever heard of the term? I might not say it right, but have you heard the term? Um, the man is the head and the woman is
No, no.
so basically the man is what
Okay.
woman is what guides,
Mm,
supports, right?
right.
So in a family, you as being the man, you have to be take responsibility. You well, not in this day and age, but traditionally, you have to provide for your family. You do what's right for the family.
Right.
I think that's what a lot do, and that requires them to
Right.
because they have to provide for their have to one kind of suffer a little.
Yeah.
Um, but I do like that the man has to tend to their garden
Hmm.
because if you can't maintain a simple plant, how are you going to maintain a family, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So I really like that one. Uh, okay, actually, I got another question for you. So
Okay.
if you have to tend to your garden and
Right.
as being, we'll start off with being a father. So
Sure.
if you're the head of the household as a father, what does weakness?
So, are you asking like what a weak father, like as a
Yeah.
okay,
So
as a
like
what does a weak father look like?
yeah, like a father that is not being a good father.
Um, I'm gonna be asking you the same question after I answer, but I think a lot of people, I guess we're answering in terms of being a father, aversion to confrontation. So I saw a lot of that growing up from my family, where my dad never really liked confrontation,
Okay.
and there were a lot of moments that required that, but a lot of that, basically most of the stuff went under the radar, and he never really got involved with family like discourse. And I see that as something that, like, as a man, you're called to, if something's wrong, like, you need to step up and actually call it out on it. So that's one. And similar to that, I guess, lack of responsibilities. So I I don't know. I don't respect a man who doesn't have responsibilities. Like, if all they do is just, I don't know, like, eat, shower, and hopefully shower, eat, shower, and poop and sleep. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, I think responsibility is how you learn as a person, let alone as a man.
Okay.
And yeah. And then last thing, sorry, is laziness, which I guess kind of all of them, I guess, kind of like relate to each other. If you're lazy, I don't think you can be a good father. What about you?
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting because this is where my personality kind of takes over. So,
Oh,
uh, I've seen husbands, fathers, like in public, and they're pansies,
mm,
like little flowers. They're little
yeah.
like useless. They're useless. Like I wholeheartedly like if your wife is driving a car and she insists on putting gas, let her put gas.
Right.
But I don't see men opening doors for their women. I don't see men carry like the one time I was at the grocery store and the woman's carrying all the bags.
Yeah.
Well the man's on the phone texting or playing whatever stupid game he's playing.
Yeah.
And it's like this no. Like
Yeah.
can't do that. So like weakness I would say well laziness.
Yeah.
Hate but the biggest one is not being a man. Like you're the woman in the relationship.
Mm.
You're not that's not how I say that.
Well, it sounds like you have a very defined set of, I guess, roles between a husband and a wife. And the moment you see that roles being blurred and the guys just taking advantage of that blurred lines, and then
Yeah,
the girl not taking all of that responsibilities, that's when like it triggers you.
yeah, like your woman is carrying all the bags. At least carry half of them.
Right.
I mean, or
Yeah.
uh, one that the other day. It was the man sitting in the car on playing a game while his woman is in gas, while he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Like, put your own damn gas, man. Have some pride. That's what it is. Lack of pride.
Right.
Like I've noticed a lot of men have pride in themselves. This submissive version of
Mm.
there's a time and place for that, but all the time. That's what.
Any other weakness in a father? More like in a husband.
Oh, that was
Um,
I was
yeah.
talking
Okay.
about husband.
I think we can also talk about that too.
Oh my goodness, I went straight to
um,
husband.
yeah.
Okay, father. Stay on the.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
uh, father would be not like thinking of back how my father was compared to like stepfather. Like again, my dad has a lot of pride. He
Hmm.
has a lot of initiative.
Okay.
So he needs to get something done. He's not gonna wait for anything. Doesn't
Yeah.
wait for someone to tell him. If anything, my stepmom tells him to wait. So for yeah, I think initiative, responsibility would the lacking features
Right.
with fathers lately. They're like, oh, I can't just because X Y Z. I can't like no, some people don't even know how to use power tools.
Yeah.
Baffles me. Going off
Ron.
on it's just one after the other, just coming up.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And I think, yeah, like it does sound like you have a very set um like boundaries drawn between what the roles of a husband and what the roles of the wives are. And I find it very interesting also that pride usually has a negative connotation to it, but you sort of take that as a positive spin and you think that people should have pride, men should have pride, and for men who are prideless, you see that as a weakness instead of something that's good.
You when you buy a new car, you don't just beat the shit out of it.
Right,
Take care of it.
right,
When you buy a house, you want to improve your house. You want to put work
right,
into the house. Same as your wife and your children. Have some pride. Like this woman chose to marry you, chose to
right.
have children with. Children are the byproducts of this woman that you married, and that
Mm.
it's like have some pride in that. That they chose you for you.
Do you
Children,
think
sorry.
Do you think going back to like power tools um and I guess like going like groceries and all of that stuff, like do you think it's possible for a man to be strong in a sense without having to know that or do that? Or do you just purely see that as like, oh, this guy's because I guess in Asian culture, like I was lucky enough to I guess come here and I grew up here for the my formative years. But it's pretty common for people not to know how to use power tool until they die. Like my dad doesn't know how to use power tool, and my grand like none of the fatherly figure that I had growing up in Korea was like that.
Trying to think. I don't know the culture of Korea very well. Because like in Canada, that's you work with your hand.
Yes, very true. Very,
You
very true.
yeah, like you build stuff, you fix things. You're the person. You're the go-to person, at least for simple things. Um, like
Right. No, that's okay. I think you can answer as much as you are experienced in, which is in Canada. And I agree. Like if you're gonna be a father in Canada, like pick up a power tool. Like learn how to use a circular saw. Come on. Like
I suppose in Korea, or I guess in the continent of, it would
yeah.
be traditions, right?
Yep.
Right.
Hmm.
So like you have to, as the father, you have to uphold that tradition.
Yes.
You don't take pride in your
Yes.
kind of a failure.
Yeah, it's true. My grandfather is very. He's gotten a lot better, but he's very traditional. And like when we're eating, and like our utensils, if they're not used correctly, or if they put it in an improper way, like he would like get super mad, throw like the spoon across the table, and like yeah, like you're not doing this right. So he's very like conservative. He's gotten a lot better, but I've heard stories about that. So I think in that regard, like that tradition matters a lot, and that kind of um, links to weakness. And I want to talk about actually on the flip side, like what are some of the strengths that a father has? So what strength? Like what do you see it as a strength in a father? Yeah. So we talked about what a weak father looks
Yeah,
like. What about a strong father?
having those
Okay.
right? Like,
Not that.
uh,
Not weakness. Is strength.
you're not allowed to have weakness. That makes you strong. Um, I think what I've been learning in Bible study is this the how Jesus.
Right.
And I think if the man, whether it's father or what, or follows that example to the best of his, a very strong father, got angry, righteous anger, right? Right
Yeah.
reasons. Uh, had humility all time. Oh, he did at all time. Um, always has the power to just exercise control and that within kindness, caring for others, to like strive to be Christ-like on your way.
Okay. So Christ, yeah, that's very good. Christ-like attitude is what strength are. And I think you talked about um, like anger a little bit there, righteous anger. Is there any other like nugget that you can sort of pull from in terms of what that characteristic looks like from a Christ-like behavior?
The righteous anger.
Yeah, like something like that.
Like
I just want to know what a characteristic of strength looks like.
it would be discipline for father
Okay.
or righteous discipline, not discipline out of rage or fear.
Yeah.
It's you did this, you're gonna learn your lesson.
Right.
So for example, my dad's never well he did once by accident. I plugged his nose when he was sleeping, so I kinda deserved it. But
Deserved
uh
it.
oh yeah, he threw me like halfway across the room. That's because he I kinda
Yeah.
scared him. So
Right.
um but he had righteous anger when I told him to shut.
Right.
So he literally picked me up by my skull with one hand, walked me out of the mall, put me in the truck, brought me home, sat me in front of the kitchen table, put a stack of paper beside me, and he said, "Start writing."
Mhm.
So I wrote, "I will never tell my dad to shut up in public again." And then he said, "Write until I tell you."
Yeah.
Oh, I learned my lesson really quick about that one.
Yeah.
So there's
Very
ways.
much Bart Simpson vibe, but yeah.
Well, there's a way a way to discipline your. I find a lot of parents, not just fathers, but a lot of parents take out their stress and frustration on their kids,
Mhm.
especially in COVID times. I can't even imagine what's happening right now. Families, scary,
Yeah, I agree.
but it's exercising righteous. If that's what you,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's what got me with Jesus and his righteous anger is that he disciplined or yeah, his tax collectors, merchants. Yeah, that's what else would be strong father or husband? What characteristics? Do you have any?
I have a few. I think like secure. So I guess being like the opposite of insecure. So um like I think life is prone for uh a lot of atrocities, and just as a father, I think you're the like the root in the family, and like if you shake, the whole family shakes, and you're like seeing. I've never seen my father cry, and I think
Oh,
like as much as that is weird, but I think I kind of like that. Well, at the same time, I think vulnerability also is a strength in a father, but um, yeah, just being secure in the position of a fatherhood, I think, is what uh, a strength is. So
all
yeah,
right.
I guess yeah, it comes down to what their values are and how strong they're willing to be resilient about that those values, no matter what happens.
I like that. I never. I agree on that one about the security and because there's a lot of fathers that their children do something or go through something and they have to show their
Yeah,
children it's gonna be okay, but they're dying inside. Like
yeah,
they want to cry, they want to break down, they want to do all these
right,
things,
right,
but they have to show their children that it's gonna be okay,
yeah,
and that takes a lot of security and will and
mm,
uh, strength in
mm,
general, like fortitude.
yeah. And I also like bringing you back to, I guess we can talk about husbands too and what the strengths of the husband
Hmm.
is, and I think that security is what attracts on like it's what girls find attractive too. Here I am talking about what girls want, but
You are
like
single, ready to
um
not mingle.
but
Huh?
uh what?
Who?
What?
You want to fight?
Anyway, um what do you think like the strengths are for the husband? We I guess we sort of talked about the weaknesses of a
They
husband. I
well, they kind of go hand in hand, like father and husband, right? I've been realizing since we're talking about this,
think so too.
like, because all the things that you just said are exactly what you would say about a husband. The security, uh, having like this mental fortitude
Yeah.
and all this stuff. Like it goes hand in hand. Like sometimes your wife is gonna be breaking down, and all she needs to see from you is calm, collected. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay, right? So like with my girlfriend, she has chronic pain in her leg because of nerve damage, and
Mhm.
whenever it gets bad, like I just show her like it's gonna be okay. And she's told me like just in that it brings the pain threshold down. Just seeing me calm and willing to do whatever I can for her. So yeah, it's I'm learning a lot about weaknesses and strengths actually. Like currently, here's a question for you. So being a man right now, do you see if you, like do you have any weakness as a man?
So, mm, that's a good question.
Right? Like it's hard to reflect on that.
My weakness are those eyes of yours. I'm just kidding. Wow, I hate that you just winked. Um,
Why?
I think
I looked right at you. Just right in your soul.
yeah.
Just
I don't
yeah.
think I have. So I'm just gonna think out loud here
Go for
because
it.
yeah,
That's
otherwise I
why we
might
have
have
a
to
that's why we have a
I might have to
podcast,
sit
homie.
here for yeah. So I don't think I have issues with laziness. I do have a certain threshold or not threshold, standard. So I always think of myself lazy because I wanna be more than where I am now.
Hmm.
Um, I think the weakness that I see in myself is I kind of touched up on it a little bit when we first started to talk. What about was about like inexperience in a lot of life. So um, like what happens if your kid comes and I don't know he got punched. Like I've never experienced that. Like what do I do? Or like my wife, um, I don't know, just something happened to her and that's just something that I've never experienced. So I know that I can't experience everything,
Hmm.
but I do see that as a weakness in me where um like I'm afraid that I don't have enough to give.
Oh. So like, but if you love someone, you're gonna find that strength to do what you have to do, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Whether
yeah,
it's being strong for your wife or girlfriend in times where she's injured or suffering, and then with your children, like you're a grown ass man,
yeah.
so you have to teach your kid. Well, one. So this is what I would do, and this is just pure. Like it might not be the right way. I would teach my kid how to self defense.
Right.
Because I think every person, whether it's child or adult, needs to know how to defend themselves in some capacity. But also teach them like if they're not at fault, try to understand why the kid did it. Like be what's the word? Compassionate, empathetic. I don't know. Like teach them like if you're not if you didn't provoke it, why did the kid do it?
Hmm.
It'd be a learning lesson. Like
Right.
to show them that it's what Jesus would do. Like in the Bible, it says, if someone hits you on the cheek, turn and give them the other cheek.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the easiest thing to do. I'm fully aware, but that's what I've been learning, and I think that's what I would teach my kid if they came home with a bloody nose or something. Like I'd be
Yeah.
angry. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. Like I'll be like,
Yeah.
where's this child? Let me go talk to their parents.
Right.
But at the same time, learning experience for them.
Yeah.
And I think that would be more beneficial
Hmm.
than dad going and beating the shit out of the parents, right?
I have a lot of scenarios in my head where if I see someone, I don't know, because the closest thing to a fatherhood for me was like having a dog, and I like, there's like I have never loved anything in my life more than my dog. Don't tell parents. But
I was thinking of something else, but okay.
yeah. But yeah, I'm like, if someone either kicks my dog or someone like does something, like I don't know what kind of person I'm gonna be. Like,
Oh, you're gonna be angry. There's no
yeah,
doubt
like I
about
don't know how
that.
that's gonna show, right? Like that might be just like in the spur of the moment, like I might do something I might regret. And I think as a guy too, like you need to know how to control your anger and kind of
Meekness.
yeah. Because I agree with you. Like if you can't handle yourself, that's a weakness. Like I don't
But
care if you can lift 3,000 pounds or 5,000 pounds or 5 pounds. Like if you don't have your if you don't know your capacity and you can't control yourself, like that is a weak.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it all depends on the severity. Like to go from 0 to 100,
Yeah.
if I find out that my kid is severely injured in the hospital or someone, God forbid, killed them
Right.
in like a car accident or other things,
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly probably think I would lose it straight up, just see red.
Right. Me too.
But if
Become
my
John Wick.
yeah, but if my kid comes home with a black eye or a shiner or cut on his leg or something, like what happened? Use it as a teaching moment because kids are durable, man. They are durable creatures.
Yeah, that's why I find men who can forgive as a strength. Like I think I've heard a story about this. Uh, this person, like, the family basically lost the child to a murder, and
Oh, I know
like,
this in the States.
yeah, and there was a speech that he said to the murderer and their family, and he was a Christian, and it was just such a powerful statement. And I'm like sitting there, I was like, man, you're right in front of him. Like, this is your chance. Like, I don't know, like maybe go to jail for 6 months. Like, it might be worth it. Like,
Yeah,
but he just forgives him. Like, that's like who does that, right?
I think he forgave him and tried to help him.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm pretty sure. That's but like I hope actually I hope this never happens, but I hope I can have the capacity to forgive for any kind of reason.
right.
But I don't know. Well, like you said, we're gonna have to find out someday, right?
Yeah. So let me flip that question back to you. What do you think your weakness is going into like a marriage and like going into a fatherhood?
Hmm. I think my biggest weakness is lack of meekness, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. Like my lack of meekness in the sense of don't touch the
It's
people I
describing
care.
the scripture, right?
Pardon?
How it's describing the scripture.
Yeah, yeah. Like I have no chill when someone that I care about is hurting. I just it's something I need to work on. But like if someone I care about gets hurt in front of me, it's like I see red. And it's
Yeah.
I worked really hard to like not put myself in those positions, but you never know with people, right?
Right.
Another weakness I think I have is like not selfishness because that's it's kind of over the top of what I'm thinking of, but like I want to do what I want to do.
Mm.
And when you have a family or when you have a partner, you have to compromise. You have to um, basically you don't get to make the decision based solely on you, right? You have other um, people to care about. So that's one thing I've been working on is what do I want to do and how does this intertwine with my life with my
Right.
girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
it's like a form of selfishness, but not as
just to,
bad.
yeah, just to kind of add to that, I have a spiritual mentor,
Yeah.
and he has 3 kids. He has a dog, he has a house, like, and he is a mentor to like 2 other guys, like not just me. So he's a pretty busy guy,
Hmm.
and I asked him the same question. It's just like man, like how do you how do you do things? Like how can you do all of this? And what he told me was that um you you can sacrifice a lot of things, but like you do everything that you need to do, and the only thing that you should sacrifice is your sleep. So like he gets very little sleep, but he what he was saying is that, like, do your chores, do everything that your kids needs, do everything that your wife needs, do what the house needs, and then the time left over and until you go to sleep, that's the amount of sacrifice that you have for yourself. So let that be the first one. And that kind of struck with me. It's like, oh, that's true. Like, even if I have kids and wives, kids and a wife,
Monogamy
this
is out the window today.
yeah. um, yeah, like I can still live out the life that I used to live. It's just a matter of willpower at that point. How much sleep do I really need?
But I also would combat that with time management, right? Like there's people that like a pro CrossFit athlete who has I
Mm,
think 3 or 4 children, has many businesses, and still competes in the games.
yeah,
Like there's a way to do it.
yeah,
So if you're sacrificing sleep, which is something that you really need as an athlete, that's not going to work. So I
yeah,
think it all comes down to time management, honestly.
yeah.
Like
No,
there's
that's
like you for me, I think there's going to be a time where I'm going to have to give up gaming, or so I have to give up one of these things. Hockey or sports in general, uh working out or gaming. Well, guess which one's going out of the window, right?
gaming.
Yeah, like I can't. Fitness keeps me healthy. Sports is above gaming, so it's just I came to that realization the other day, actually. But yeah, I honestly think it comes down to time management.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So, what kind of father then do you want to be, Anthony? Do you want to be like a football dad? No, no, you're more of a hockey dad. Are you gonna let your kids go through hockey? Teach them
I
how to
I'm
skate?
gonna I'm gonna teach my kids how to skate, but I'm gonna let my kids try every sport because that's what my dad did, except for baseball, because he thinks baseball is not a sport.
What? Golf's not a sport. Baseball is a sport.
You know, golf is actually far harder than baseball.
That's not true.
It
That's
is true.
so not true.
I can crush a baseball, but to have the finesse to put a ball in golf where you
Oh
want
my
it,
god.
so much harder.
We need to have a podcast for this, but you know how
next
hard
next
it is
next podcast.
to hit a baseball? Like, sure, if it's like, given to you, you can hit it hard and that's it and call it a day. But if it's coming at you 80, 90 miles per hour, like you're not gonna hit that.
Why are they coming at me 80, 90 miles per hour, bud?
What do you mean? Like, because they're professionals?
I'm not talking about professional. I'm talking about like you. You're not like you're getting a ball at what? Maximum 60 kilometers an hour when you play?
80,
Eight.
80 miles per hour.
Okay. You have better odds hitting that than placing a golf ball on the fairway or green where you want it. Think about it.
Yeah, we're talking about this is getting off topic here.
Next podcast, we're gonna title Golf
Yeah.
versus baseball. Which one is
Oh
not a
my God,
sport?
I would love to have that discussion with you.
I don't know enough
Um,
about golf, but
yeah, I don't know a lot about golf too, but so you want to be just a
I'm gonna
dad
have
that goes through all of the sports.
yeah. Like if my kid comes up to me, hey dad, I want to try XYZ. Well, how much does it cost? And let's try it out. Uh,
Including girls or just men,
yeah,
like
yeah.
boys.
I'm not gonna limit my daughter to anything or daughters if I have more than one.
Yeah.
No, do what you want. But
Are you gonna raise them to be like a programmer?
pardon?
Are you gonna teach them how to code?
No, they learn that themselves.
Okay.
um, but yeah, I wanna be a father that supports my children in anything they want to do. Teach them the right values to be a good human being.
Right.
And honestly, this is gonna sound bad, but let them fail.
Yeah.
Like, not enough kids fail.
Yeah.
Like, if my kid comes to me and they're like, I got a participation trophy. No, you didn't. It's going in the garbage. Like you know what I mean? Like, anyways, that's another topic. But I'm gonna let them fail so they learn, but I also want to support them in everything that they do. That's the kind of father I want to be.
Okay.
I want to show them how to be a good person as Christ-like as I can, and show them a happy family.
Mm.
Like I want them to look at me and be like, "Dad loves mom." That's what I want.
Cool. That's good.
What about you?
Oh, I totally agree with you, and I think I don't have anything new to add. I agree with everything you said.
Mhm.
Like to the full extent. I grew up in a very strict, relatively strict, um, I guess, parenthood, and um, yeah, like I think if my kid's like, hey, I want to try this, it's like, yeah, let's go for it. Like we'll give it a try, and if the kid fails, then they'll learn it for themselves. Not no, like I know more than you, I know better than you.
Mhm.
I know, like I think there's a time and a place for that, but like in terms of sports, in terms of like recreation, and in terms of their passion, like I'm not gonna let that die because I think it's not worthwhile.
Yeah, and there's another thing. I'm not gonna let my kid give up.
Mm,
Like if you said you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it to
yeah,
the best that you can. And if you
right.
choose not to do it the best that you can, then you're doing it over and over and over again
Yeah, I
until
think
you,
that builds resilience.
yeah. Like there's times where my dad, like I said I wanted to quit hockey, one time, and he's like, no. Instead, we're gonna take you to power skating,
Yeah,
and you're gonna learn how to be faster. You're gonna learn how to skate. And then another time was like, I'm not good enough. And he's like, okay, figure skating for hockey. You're going this summer every day.
skating,
Yeah, it's the
is
most.
that a thing?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like if you can, I can notice the difference between a skater in the NHL if they've done
Right.
figure skating or not.
I'm like
That's
picturing you in a spandex and like just doing twirling around.
I wear
But
full
it's
hockey
not that,
gear.
right?
No, I wear
Okay,
full hockey gear with the puck.
got it. Got it.
Like you do you know how to skate?
Like I could run around and stuff, but I can't do tricks and
But you know how to skate.
yeah,
Now, do you know how to cross over?
no, I can't do any.
Okay, so now think about that, crossing over and not lifting your feet off the ice while crossing over and gaining speed.
Yeah,
That's what they teach you.
I see.
Or having your legs stable so you're not
Mhm.
moving your legs but you're still generating speed because you're using your edges.
Yeah,
That helps with that's figure skating and
right.
stuff, little stuff like that. Um where are we going with this? Sports failure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the moment we talk about sports, we just get
I know
totally
it's
toxic.
mm,
Yeah,
Oh, look, a squirrel.
Right. So, bringing back to our sort of topic, what kind of, I guess, husband do you want to be then?
Horrible one. No.
Nice. You don't have to try hard.
No. Hey,
I'm kidding.
it's an aspiration. You
Yes,
can work
yes,
towards it, but no.
yes, it is.
Uh, I want to the type of husband I want to be. I want to be a husband that supports my wife in everything that she does and wants to do, so she can achieve her dreams. I think that's a good general statement,
Okay.
right? Like whether she wants to play more sports, or if she wants to go on a trip, or if she wants to have another kid. You know, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Supportive
Yeah, just
husband.
yeah. Like I want to love her in all facets
Right.
as much as I can. Yeah, while also being secure, supportive of all that stuff. Um, and kind of lead her in faith actually would be a nice one.
Okay.
Because I feel like, because my girlfriend's been Christian since the day she was born, like in a Christian household and all this stuff, and she can like recite passages, and I'm like, of the like, I like the Bible,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so. I hope that one day I can lead her the way that she not needs, but the way that
A husband leads a household.
yeah, like it's an aspiration. Like I've been working towards it,
Mhm.
but I think that's one goal, one big goal that I have.
Right.
What about you? Because like I think we're on the same page with fatherhood.
Yeah.
So what about being a husband? What would you want to be?
I think, yeah. Number one definitely is supportive too for me. Um, I think you and I are very similar in that way where uh maybe it's because we're born so closely together, but
Because we're
like I
Scorpios.
yeah. I'm very like I want to be supportive and also like funny. I think life overall is like can be really boring and stale, but what gets through that is just being, I don't know, dorky and funny and
Oh, I got that
uh,
down pat, bud.
yeah,
I got that.
right. So, just you're partners, right? And like if your partner is boring, it's just
Yeah,
but
that's true. And like also, so I guess the opposite would be having stimulated conversation or stimulated encounters
yeah,
too, right? Like
right.
my girlfriend and I, we both agree, like if you don't spark intelligent conversation, not all the
Yeah,
time, but like often, like it gets boring. Like if you don't question what your significant other is spouting facts about,
mm,
and you guys kind of debate or kind of talk about that, right?
right,
I feel like it could get really boring.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So supportive, funny, laughter. What else?
That's it. Obviously I think leadership too in terms of um yeah, encouraging her in faith and making sure that I don't fall out of faith and I don't take my faith life for granted, so that my abundance of faith becomes her, I guess, guidance too. So,
Okay. So now, here's a question for you.
sure.
If with how do I ask this? If you're wanting to be all these things as a father and as a husband,
Yeah.
currently, how would you do that if you're struggling? So like, are you struggling with anything right now? And if you are, and if you are the man of the house, how would you handle these struggles?
Right. I so growing up, I never like I didn't really have a very good strong fatherly figure. So that's something that I've always lacked in.
Okay.
But God blessed me so much in that where I am so blessed with having resources around me that are fatherly figures. So I have a spiritual mentor I was talking about earlier.
Hmm.
Like in terms of house maintenance, I have like a fatherly figure that I can always reach out to. Like in terms of career, I know, someone who like hooked me up with my first job, and he's still like him and I still talk a lot. Like in terms of life and like relationships, I know someone who I can reach out to, and like if I call them, they'll pick up any day. Um, so as much as I've missed out in terms of growing up in my, I guess, late teen to early 20s, like I was super blessed with having a lot of resources. So
Nice.
to answer your question, I think that's something that I'll first go to all the time is um like first obviously is prayer and obviously seeking godly wisdom, but making sure that I use all of the resources that I can, like reach out to this person, like reach out to like Richard, reach out to Paul, reach out to like William, like reach out to all of these people that I um that helps me grow as a man. What about you?
Nice. Well, uh, to simplify that, I have a huge support group, and someone that suffers from depression, you kind of need that. So, um, first and foremost, if I'm struggling as a man with it, as being a man of the household, and I'm struggling, I would look to my wife
Okay.
because we're partners. Like what's the this is why I wish I knew the Bible. Um,
In the
you're
beginning, got
no,
crazy.
no, no, no. So you and your wife are yoked
Right.
by God,
Yeah.
right? Is that
Yeah.
correct? So I should look to God and my wife for support and guidance. But if it's something out of their hands, I have like my cousin Shane, all my friends like Brent, Chris, Jacob, you, uh, uh like Josh, Shelby, like there's so many people that I have,
Yeah.
and I will tell you that not all of them are Christian, but they
Mm.
also give really good advice.
Right.
Um, so I do have all these people that I can lean on, but I think the biggest thing would be leaning on myself is what I've learned,
Okay.
because no one knows you better than yourself, and you've been through stuff and you've come out of stuff, right? Like I guarantee you've been through very dark times and you're here.
Mm.
So I think a lot of people miss or forget that you can help yourself. Like you know how to get out of situations. You know how what you have to do when you're struggling, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest one that people forget. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel bad for people who like obviously you and I, as we said, are blessed with people that are around us that support us,
Hmm.
and also you and I each other. But a lot of people who are stuck in that perpetual like darkness and mindset, like it's not like they're not blessed with the same thing. So like with depression, there's good days and bad days, and it's imperative that on good days you build that relationship with people so that um yeah, when you struggle, you can reach out to.
Yeah, and I do like you said, like I feel bad for those people. Um, I guess that's some of the people that we need to find and help, right? as children of God and as people that want to help others.
Right.
I just hope that some people find these videos and they actually talk to us so we can actually provide help or some in some capacity, right?
And yeah, and I think most of the because I've been there too, and I think most of the time it's not that people aren't around. It's just you're just dismissing it, and you're
Hmm.
like, oh, like that person can't help, or like I don't matter to them, stuff like that. But yeah, it comes out of self pride too. It's just like no one's
Yeah.
worthy to help me, or I'm not worthy to be helped.
Yeah,
So
usually like, why would someone love me? Why would someone help me? Well, guess what? We're here. We're ready to help you, man or
right,
woman. Like, just come and have a chat. Um, so just to wrap things up, because we're kind of reaching our time here.
yeah,
Uh, if you guys, whoever's watching, if you guys have anything to add or any questions, like, let us know. We're always looking for topics to talk about. We could even uh kind of go further in depth with you guys off like in private messaging and stuff like that. Um, but we would love to hear from you. And if you like this podcast, if you like how what we're talking about, just hit the subscribe button and give us a like. Like, it helps a lot. Um, but yeah, like, I guess, do you want to do the sports next time, or what would you want to do next time in episode 7?
I think we should talk about sports in relation to that fitness. So we'll sort of go back to
Ooh,
that
we
topic.
could go to discipline too.
Yeah,
Okay. So next time we'll talk about sports in general, how fitness ties into them, and discipline.
like it.
All right, sweet deals. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you. What is it,
Tuesday.
next Tuesday,
Yep.
June 8th at 8 p.m. And
Perfect.
so yeah, peace out, everyone.